Come, let us explore the meditation secret that opens the door to non-duality. I'm a little out of breath. I just finished my calisthenic circuit training, and so I'm a little out of breath. Hope this doesn't sound like a dirty phone call. Let's see here. So this morning's lesson is drawn from the 27th passage of Prahevajra's vast expanse of the diamond-like mind. Together, let us perform our first of 4 repetitions, or recitations. Let us relaxingly recite together. Finding oneself in the 3 realms of existence, all is just like a label and like a magical illusion. Even the great status of a Chakravartin universal king, being like a magical illusion, is but an abode to purify. What do we mean by the 3 realms of existence? That would be so what follows is a completely unimportant piece of Buddhist trivia. This would be described as the desire realm, the form realm, and the formless realm. It doesn't matter. That's just a metaphor for all possible circumstances. Finding oneself in any conceivable circumstance, it is just a label and a magical illusion. Whether you call a writing implement a pencil or a lapis, it's the same writing implement. Whether you call the same group of people by any one of many names, it's still the same group of people. In Philosophy 101, they teach us that if we're going to have a meaningful discussion, we must first coordinate our terminology, lest we find ourselves communicating at cross purposes. And one of the lessons we learn is that the map is not the terrain. The label is not an object. One of the things that was explored in the French philosophical treatise, whose title I have difficulty pronouncing, but which was mentioned as a set piece or a prop in the first or second reel of the first Matrix movie, was, I can't even try to pronounce it, begins with an S. Anyway, the idea that we go from original object to symbol of the original object or idea to symbol of the symbol of the symbol of the original object or idea until the original idea is completely lost. To put it in terms of Christianity, imagine Christ dying agonizingly on the cross, then imagine Christ being depicted on the cross in a opulent cathedral, then imagine Christ being depicted on the cross on a gold necklace, and then Christ being depicted on the cross in a plastic statue on someone's dashboard of their pickup truck. And the meaning of something just deteriorates with each iteration. The takeaway is that just as we can fold a map of the city in which we live much easier than we can actually fold the city in which we live, unless of course we're in a Chris Nolan movie. Likewise, the labels of the ideas and the things and the individuals to which we cling are not the things or the individuals or the concepts. They're just conveniences. Now, we don't have to believe that. We don't have to understand that. All we need to do is go back to the basic practice. Every time we inhale, we are wired to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Every time we exhale, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, and less defining. If all we do is spend at least 5 minutes once every 12 hours or so, noticing and releasing in harmony with our inhalations and exhalations, while silently and mentally we recite the demonstrative pronoun this or the verb is, we will find ourselves letting go of our labels. And after a while, those labels could feel as unreal as if they were a magician's trick upon a stage. Interesting, compelling, yet ultimately a fiction. Together as a team, let us recite this a second time. Finding oneself in the three realms of existence, all is just like a label, like a magical illusion. Even the great status of a Chakravartin universal king, being like a magical illusion, is but an abode to purify. The Buddha did not seek to invent a religion. There were already many, many, many religions in India where he was born. He was just a meditation teacher. And like your better meditation teachers, he was less concerned about religious patriarchy and more concerned about spiritual matriarchy. He was less concerned about being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, and more concerned with being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. However, the way complex life forms have evolved on this planet, is in a way that, we'll think of it this way: we evolved to think symbolically. Therefore, we are wired for similes and metaphors, including the simile of a universal king. So, in a world where people are happy to let you die of dehydration if you cannot afford to buy a bottle of water, many people have been conditioned to believe that if they just have enough money or gold or power or fame, then everything will be okay. However, the author of this text is saying, even if we were the king of the gods, which is pretty great status, even if that was the case, the only way for us to know even a little bit of peace would be for us to notice and release harmony with our inhalations and our exhalations. That is how we purify the tyranny of our rigidity, fear, superstition, controlling tendencies, elitism, poor communication, competitiveness, and cruelty. We transcend those things simply by noticing and releasing in harmony with our breathing. Doing that causes that which we noticed during our previous inhalation to feel as if it was as non-graspable as a magical illusion. And now that we've been through this, together let us recite it an additional 2 times. Remember, the moment you have a specific question, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Finding oneself in the three realms of existence, all is just like a label and like a magical illusion. Even the great status of a Chakravartin universal king, being like a magical illusion, is but an abode to purify. Finding oneself in the three realms of existence, all is just like a label and like a magical illusion. Even the great status of a Chakravartin universal king, being like a magical illusion, is but an abode to purify. And now it's time for us to, now that we've answered the universal question, and I might have only hinted at, so let me just make it really, really clear. We are wired in such a way that every time we inhale, we cannot help but notice dualities. Instead of noticing sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, and scents, we notice the beautiful and the ugly, the harmonious and the discordant, the pleasurable and the painful, the delicious and disgusting, the fragrant and the foul. However, as we relax into our exhalation, it could feel like those dualities collapse upon themselves, like the limbs of a artificial, what's it called? Christmas tree that you fold up to stuff back in the box the first weekend of January every year. And so the key to this non-duality is not to stop noticing duality, but to process duality by cooperating with our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system through the miracle of inhalation, exhalation, and wordplay. Now, here's the thing. Once we let go of duality, our journey's not over. The very next in-breath, we'll notice duality again. This is not a flaw. This is the function. This is not a flaw, it is a feature. The great South Indian Buddhist philosopher Nagarjuna explained it this way. Every time we inhale, we perceive the conventional. Every time we exhale, we feel the ultimate. Now, we cannot hope to live if we only exhale and never inhale. We will asphyxiate. We will turn blue, tip over, wiggle funny, and scare the dog. Just as a one-winged bird will never take to the sky, you and I can never take to nirvana if we are only forever letting go and never noticing. If you're stuck in non-duality and never practicing duality. Duality is useful. What's that? You say you want to make me a vegan dessert? Well, you better know the difference between shit and chocolate. If you don't get to play in my kitchen. We don't need to lie to ourselves about what we're perceiving. Buddhahood is not reserved for those who only perceive some things and not perceive other things, because after all, not only is the seventh fold of the eightfold path mindfulness, but also the first enlightenment factor. There is no enlightenment without mindfulness, and mindfulness causes us to notice duality. We can't help it. So there's nothing wrong with noticing duality. The question is, what do we do with it? And if we process it through the miracle of relaxing in coordination with our exhalation, then we will drink deep of the liberation that the Buddha offers us. And what is that? Liberation not from certain perceptions, but liberation from the tyranny of those perceptions. Liberation from the tyranny of being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. The Buddha's liberation helps us to notice the beauty within us and the ugliness within us. But more than that, helps us to process it. I can't tell you how many religious members of patriarchy I've met who try to hate themselves out of sin. Well, I hate this and such because it's vile. If I just keep hating it, I will be free from it. No, you won't. It's better to be honest with ourselves about what we're feeling and then process it in cooperation with our autonomic nervous system. This concludes our opening lesson, and now it's time for us to shift gears. It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Let's turn our attention now for the remainder of this morning's practice to the latest iteration of very easy meditation practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. Let us open the practice by bringing the 4 bases of mindfulness into the path of the wisdom of letting go. Together, let us please chant with me. The circumstantial could be seen yet ever changing. The circumstantial could be seen yet ever changing. The circumstantial could be seen yet ever changing. The interpersonal could be heard yet ever changing. The interpersonal could be heard yet ever changing. The interpersonal could be heard yet ever changing. The mental could be lucid yet ever changing. The mental could be lucid yet ever changing. The mental could be lucid yet ever changing. The physical could be sensual yet ever changing. The physical could be sensual yet ever changing. The physical could be sensual yet ever changing. Now that we've all warmed up with the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, let us give ourselves permission to collect our 12 inhalations, or to keep track of our 12 inhalations upon the creases of our right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let us give ourselves permission to keep track of 12 sets of 12 inhalations each on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, how will we keep track of numerous sets 12 inhalations each, we could keep track of the first collection in the following manner. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. Whether we are sitting ungainly or symmetrically, let us assume a sustainable sitting position. As silently and mentally we recite this and ease and harmony with our inhalations and exhalations. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. During each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this as we notice, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. During each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease as we relax. Upon the tip of our left index finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Each time we inhale, we can silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this as we find ourselves noticing vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Each time we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is as we find ourselves relaxing in harmony with our parasympathetic nervous system. Let us close this morning's practice by bringing the 4 bases of mindfulness into the path of loving kindness. Please chant with me. May all forms be lavished with blissful health. May all forms be lavished with blissful health. May all forms be lavished with blissful health. So these couplets are not prayers to real or imagined entities. We are simply using words to guide our own intention in a loving direction. May all minds be lavished with wisdom, joy. May all minds be lavished with wisdom, joy. May all minds be lavished with wisdom, joy. May all relationships be lavished with peaceful love. May all relationships be lavished with peaceful love. May all relationships be lavished with peaceful love. May all circumstances be lavish with safety and good fortune. May all circumstances be lavish with safety and good fortune. May all circumstances be lavish with safety and good fortune. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class, as well as group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.